Last time on a lecture. As I return to the United States from the Bahamas, I am preparing to get back into the swing of things. As I have returned back from vacation, I have been in a mental fog, in all honesty. I had the wonderful opportunity of disconnecting from all the woes of my life, even though it was short lived, and I had to jump back into my parenting responsibilities. It put a item of awareness in front of my mind about how much stuff I have on my plate at all times. Immediately, I jumped back into reaching out to all of my business contacts and following up on any business inquiries that came in while I was away. I know that may be off putting to some of my customers, but at the end of the day, a vacation is just that. And I don't get paid to work on my vacation by anybody. So that is something that I take very seriously because it gives me the opportunity to disconnect, re-engage, and reconnect to the things that brings me the utmost pleasure. And I needed that time to be off.
Thank you for calling the Parks and Recreation. How may I help you?
Good morning. My name is Alexis White, and I am trying to register my son for the youth football. One of the things that has been heavily on my mind is the embarking parental drama that I am experiencing now with Christian's dad. I am so lucky and so fortunate and so thankful that I don't have half the baby daddy drama that most women do that are single parents. However, we are at that stage of our parenting journey together where we are continuously bickering, if you will, about who Christians should live with. And fortunately for me, he is my only child. So, A, I'm a very hands-on parent. B, I'm very vocal in his education. I'm being very influential. Those are things that are important to me. And C, I also am very active in his life. So we spend time together each and every day. We spend an hour together for mommy and me time while we still have that opportunity to hang out with each other and watch movies, play games, talk. We do activities together, etc. Another thing that's very important to me is his overall growth and well-being. And that's not to say that his dad does not offer that. However, Christian has started to express such a discomfort with going to his dad's house because his stepbrother, he feels, is being very mean to him. And while I have tried to have conversations with his dad about this seems to not be going anywhere. So we're starting to deal with personality conflicts and on a child's level as well as a parenting level about what the solution would be. And I'm very resolute about making sure that Christian feels safe at all times. I don't think that it's fair that he should go to any other parent's house and feel verbally or physically attacked or abused by anyone. I feel like as a family unit, it is our responsibility to make sure that he is safe and he feels secure at all times. And I don't think that he's getting that if he feels like he's being threatened or, any relative of his is not sharing or anything like that. So I know as petty and as extreme that may be, that is something that's very important to me that he doesn't experience that, because as a Black male growing up to become a Black man, he's going to have people attacking him all the days of his life from all different angles. And I want him to feel safety, security, and sanctuary at home just as much as I do. So I don't want to put him in a position that's going to compromise his confidence any further, since he has been having difficulty with meeting new friends in the new school district. Recently, Christian has expressed an interest in playing sports. He started playing football with some of the local parents, if you will. And he said that he wanted to play football. And I've communicated to 3 times to his dad that he wanted to play football. And he kind of like dismissed me, as he does many of the concerns that I have. So I took some opportunity to research this for myself and to find out how can I get my son into playing football. And I'm having some difficulty. Maybe I'm just missing something, but I'm clicking the link for where it says to register on iParks. And once I click that link, it is taking me to like a list of activities where I'm typing in football and nothing is popping up. So am I doing something incorrectly?
Okay. What is the name of the league?
The youth football.
Okay. For which facility?
I don't even know. That was the other question that I had. I don't know which one will be the closest one to me. On top of playing football, he also expressed an interest in playing baseball, as well as attending a summer school program at his school, which means he's going to be pretty busy today.
Okay, so I'm only seeing baseball right now under activities, as well as the actual countdown friends. I'm not seeing anything for football. One moment.
Now, one of the things that has been a challenge for us as co-parents is that he's typically gone every time he's out of school, he's at his dad's house. And that's how we found a 50-50 split between us, right? But it's presented challenges because the things that Christian has expressed the interest in doing at my house, he cannot do at his house. And recently, his dad made the decision to move his family an hour away from me in Atlanta without traffic, which means with traffic, that's a probably hour and a half to 2 hour drive. So unfortunately, if Christian is going to participate in sports, that means he's going to have to stay at home with me. And I don't have a problem with that at all. But his dad, on the other hand, is giving me grief about it. And at the end of the day, I don't know what else you want me to do as a parent. I understand that, men deserve the right to be in their child's life and all of that. I do. But I also feel like if you want to be more involved, you have to position yourself to be more involved. That means be closer, be more involved, be more engaged, pick him up during the week, do things with him during the week, call him during the week, which are none of the things that his dad does. So what has been the trend in the past is that when Christian's with him, he's with him. When he's with me, he's with me. But now that's going to have to change. And your decision to move an hour away is not going to help that cause at all. So now we're at absolute conflict. And at this point, I'm a little bit over it. I'm tired of men, especially Black men, as much as I love and try to protect them. I'm tired of them making decisions where they can pick up and move and rebuild their lives with someone else and give their stepchildren or other new children a better opportunity to have a relationship with them than their own pre-existing children, biological children. And while it's not about me still wanting to be with Christian's dad, because those who've read my book know. And even then, I didn't tell the full truth about the irony and the pain and the heartache and disappointment and the shame that I felt. But the reality is, I don't want you. And it's not about you, it's about Christian. And unfortunately, as two consenting adults that procreated a child, now he suffers because we're at an impasse. So it has been very much so insufferable because I don't like the tension. I don't like the drama. I don't like the ongoing communication that's going back and forth. But at the end of the day, when you continue to disengage by separating yourself and making decisions to move an hour away, you're saying, I don't have an interest in my child's life. And it's not fair to Christian that I need to uproot him to send him an hour away so that I can't be involved in his life because you wanted to move an hour away. There's houses all over Atlanta. You didn't have to go that far. So, yeah, it's been a very shitty situation to deal with that as I return from a much needed vacation. But that's a part of my roles and responsibilities as a parent, and as a hands-on parent, I'm not budging from this at all. It's time for me to do my weekly check-in with Ed. And so we're just touching bases on where we are with things since I've been gone and how can I help try to take things forward. I didn't sleep well at all last night because I was mentally, preparing myself for like all the things that I know I need to do and follow up on and things like that I haven't had to do for the past, week and a half. But it's life.
It's here now.
Yeah, unfortunately. I also have a podcast that I'm recording with a guy named Desmond for the Des Experience, and I'm looking very much so forward to that interview. telling you something that most people don't know. You're getting the tea today. Getting back to work has been a real challenge. As a woman in technology and STEM, it's so many different moving pieces and particles, and life comes at you fast in the workplace. So for me, it has been exhausting trying to get caught back up with the hundreds and hundreds of emails, but I'm doing so just fine. And I am so looking forward to the weekend already. One of the things that I love about being a project manager is that I'm responsible for the outcome of said task, but I am not the person personally executing those tasks. What that means in layman's terms is I manage developers, but I'm not the person that's coding. However, I am responsible for the outcome to ensure that the developers are achieving the deliverables by the needed time. And I manage the schedule. So today I'm actually working on a status report for the program. And I know someone who's not familiar with project or program management is probably confused by that. But what that means is, as a project manager, I oversee an individual project, but a program manager presides over the strategy and the success of multiple connected projects. So you may have multiple project managers working on one task, but you may have one program manager, depending on the complexity of where you are. Now, one other caveat to this as well is that there's not uncommon that you may co-lead projects depending on the complexity and the dependencies of what needs to happen, and you may facilitate other opportunities as well where you're partnering with other certified program managers and project managers to achieve an outcome. So I've been in multiple different environments where that has been the case, but in this particular environment I am a project manager overseeing some responsibilities of a program manager. And today is one of those days where I'm executing that wonderful, beloved status report. And this information will go out to multiple stakeholders. So that's what I am working on now, getting an update from various stakeholders so that I can aggregate all this information into one deck, one slide that is, so that they can have an update as to what is going on within the program. As an intuitive, it's very important that I start my day off with my energy being in the right place. Oftentimes, when I wake up, I have a feeling about something, and it's like, what is this about? And when I get started with my day, I quickly realize, yeah, now I understand why I couldn't get out of bed. Or now I understand why I was feeling good today. So it's very important to me that when I start my day, I always pray and I meditate. I not only pray for my family, for myself and my business, but I also cover my child, my journey. I meditate and I tune into that important energy and what it's telling me about my day. I promise you, if you wake up in the morning, before you even do anything else, lie in the bed, stretch, feel your energy, breathe, just sit in what you're feeling. And that is the best way to really tap into your divine energy and know what the universe is telling you and how to prepare for the day, for sure.
You're talking about the IQ bar.
Oh, that's a protein.
That's the milk.
Yes.
I didn't put too much.
Do you want to go to STEM summer school?
I want to go to tag summer school.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Yes.
Okay. Today you're going to have a great day, and even when you start your sports, don't let nobody steal from you. Don't let nobody.
If we're playing football and I set my stuff down and they don't see me, they're going to take it.
No, they're not.
This is not if they don't see me.
Christian, don't let nobody take from you. Don't let nobody bully you. What else?
Don't let nobody steal from me.
That's right. They can talk all they want to. That's what kids do, they mean. Some of them are mean. Not all, but some.
Some boys.
Some who?
Some moms are mean.
Yeah, some moms are mean too. Unfortunately, I hate to say that you're right with that. Some people don't have home training.
Huh?
Some people don't have home training.
Oh.
After I pray and I meditate, I always take the time to build up my son's confidence. Right now, he's a black male, aka a black boy. But one day, he will grow up to become a black man. And everywhere you go, people are always telling you what you're not. People are always putting you in a box. And what I try to do is I want to build up his confidence now by after we pray together, he builds up his confidence by saying his affirmations. And he reminds himself, not only after I talk to God, I talk to myself about who I am. And he doesn't understand it now, but eventually he will. And when he grows up and becomes the black man that he's going to become, he will realize my mom made me talk to God first and then talk to myself second. So he would know that I wanted him to be empowered and inspired to be his best self by reminding himself that he is smart, that he is intelligent, that he is brave, that he is courageous, that he is magnificent, that he will solve problems that have yet to be solved. Those are just some of the few affirmations that I have taught him how to say, but then he's added on over time. So I know that it's starting to stick. And let's not forget, I remind him, don't let anybody bully you, don't let anybody pick on you, and dang sure, don't let nobody take from you. Those are small little tidbits that I give him to remind him that the world is not so kind. The world is going to always have bullies. There are bullies in the workplace. We all met them before. The world will always try to take something from you that does not belong to them, aka your gifts and your talents. Don't let them do that. And don't let nobody just pick on you just to be picking on you either. That doesn't mean you got to start it, but if you have to finish it, then so be it. This morning, I am working on reviewing some requirements and some designs for a project that I'm working on. I have taken a leadership role on this particular task, and let me just say it's a little bit daunting. Unfortunately, once you are in a client environment and you're not familiar totally 100% with their environment, it can present some challenges. So you have to go line by line to make sure that you have the right information pointed to the right places. One of the things about being a successful project manager is you have to manage scope, and scope creep is a real thing. So when you have requirements, it is best practice and highly recommended that you match those requirements up to what is identified to be in scope. Make sure you cross reference what is out of scope, and then look at those designs to make sure that your requirements matrix lines up with that. And I know that's a lot of information for somebody who may not be technical, but again, I have found best practices and best results to be highly influential in my journey and my career as a technical project manager. And it is something that I tell anybody, double check, verify for yourself. Because if it's something that doesn't make sense to you, I'm pretty sure it doesn't make sense to anyone else. And you can be the person who identifies that key question that can make or break your project. So I rarely have meetings. Rarely have meetings after 5 and 6 o'clock. Everyone pretty much knows that's my time for me to be available to my son in whatever his endeavors will be. And the future, it will be sports, but even without sports, that's our time for us to have dinner, chit chat about our day, have an hour dedicated for mommy and me time, all of that stuff. And it's very important to me. However, there are times where I have to have those late night meetings, and this is one of those late night meetings. I'm meeting with someone at 8 o'clock. That was the only time that I could meet them. And I must be honest with you, I'm a little bit frustrated because this meeting did not go as anticipated at all. And to make matters worse, the meeting outcome did not follow the agenda. So I'm not too happy about that at all. I am tired. It has been a long day and I'm ready to go to bed. But for my entrepreneurs out here, you know how this goes, right? When you have a client, that is up and they're ready to work or they're ready to talk to you, sometimes you have to make those concessions. And especially considering I was not available for the past almost 2 weeks for my vacation, I need to be available for this client. Next time on A Lecture.